You blame everybody else for everything that you've been through. It's time for Willie Brown to accept responsibility for himself, for his own actions.
I don't blame anybody for things that I go through.
So you said you blamed your girlfriend because she wanted to put you in jail. You blamed the parole officer for one of the tickets. Everything was everybody's fault. You didn't go to court. You didn't go to court because it was too far. You're in prison. You didn't want to go from Meriden to Hartford. The ride was too long. Like, seriously. I mean, it's just poor decision on top of poor decision, sir. It's too much. You have to do something differently. You do. You're going to be in prison for the rest of your life if you think that the way that you're handling your situations is the right way.
We have a nickname for men who come up and have this type of parole hearing, and that is the Manbaby. And we are about to watch a Manbaby parole hearing for a Manbaby who doesn't seem to be able to have any insight to take accountability. We're also going to hear from a victim who joins the tag team and drops a mic on his parole dreams. Now I'll unpack it with what details we have at the end.
Willie Brown, 339-454.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Willie Brown, inmate number 339454. He's serving a sentence of 3 years jail and 3 years special parole, followed for criminal possession of a firearm and assault third. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of July 11th, 2024. There is victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. However, the offender has not completed any program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. May begin.
I believe I should be granted parole because at this present time, I have learned a valuable lesson. I would like to become a part of society. This is not something that I would like to continue to do. Meaning coming back and forth in and out of prison. I would like to do things in the community as work, start businesses. These are things that I've wanted to do for a while, but I never knew how to do it. I want to take care of my kids. I don't want to be here. I love my kids more than anything. What was that?
I was going to say, well, Mr. Brown, I thought you're done with your statement. You can continue.
I would love to be home with my kids. I have 3 boys and a girl. And right now, some of my boys are acting up due to the fact that I'm not home. Mm-hmm. I don't want them to go through the things that I went through. Yeah. If I could spare them from that, I would love to.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for that statement, sir. I know that you've been before the parole board before. So we do have victim input on your case. So when we're done with our questions, we'll turn the hearing over to our victim's advocate, and then we will deliberate and give you our decision. Okay?
Okay.
Best of luck to you, sir. Mr. Rodriguez will begin with the questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Mr. Brown.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for your opening statement. A few things that I didn't hear from it. One was any kind of response to any victims in this particular case, and there was one. Also, we're looking for your suitability to come out, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
Kind of what we really need to know is what changes you've made since you've been there in yourself that would tell us that it would make sense for us to release you today. And I didn't hear much of that either. And concerns that I have in your particular situation are, one, the nature of your current offense, which is around firearms. And we have so many people being killed today on the outside. I'm sure you've heard it and are aware of the things that are going on the outside today, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm concerned about your prior history, which involves, several different charges of owning a firearm or owning a weapon. And that concerns me very much. And I didn't hear anything about how all that gets resolved for you. So you're not moving into that anymore in the future. And the other area is your area of your kind of your poor adjustability to being there because you've got tickets that you've earned recently. You have recent tickets. So those are kind of like the three or four areas that I'm concerned with. Tell us, why should we consider letting you go today?
Okay, well, since I've been in here, yes, I have not done any programs. I haven't been able to.
That was my fourth piece.
I haven't done any programs because I have not been able to. I wrote the counselor that administers the programs, and he stated that I had to be on the wait list. He had put me on the wait list. As far as my crimes, okay, when I was younger, I had no boundaries. I knew of no boundaries. So I felt as if whatever I did is just whatever I did. As I've gotten older, yes, I committed a crime. I was in possession of a firearm, something that I shouldn't have been. I was home for 7.5 years. Not holding no firearms, no nothing. It was an act of stupidity for me picking up a firearm. I thought that I needed it. I didn't need it. I want to take classes. I want to do gun course classes. I want to do all of this stuff I want to refrain from anything that has to do anything with firearms. This is not something that it's an ongoing thing, something that I love doing. I don't like doing this.
What you realize, that's not what your history shows. Your history shows that you have some sort of fascination with weapons because you've had more than one charge.
This is my second gun charge.
I have done as five weapon charges in your past history.
I only got one.
In a car, having one. They may not have all been firearms, I guess. Maybe they're all different weapons.
The one in the vehicle was a BB gun. I was homeless at the time. I had nowhere to go, so all of my property was inside my car. I don't have any others, only that one and 2 firearm charges, one from when I was 18, and the next one was this current one.
And it's not like you don't have a lengthy history, Mr. Brown.
Yes, I do.
You say young, but you go back, 22, 23, I thought years, 2022, 2023, 2019, you weren't a kid then.
2022, I caught mostly motor vehicle charges and the assault third.
Get to the charge as well. And here's another area for me. You had 7 different community types of releases. You failed at each one. You didn't make it through each one.
Every time I did fail for probation was the driving without a license, driving under suspension.
I think there were other charges that you had underlined that were not just auto charges or vehicle charges.
It was one of
Are you hearing my concern though with your situation?
I do.
You don't have to take it in the program. You've got 2 DRs that you have this year. One in September, one in March for fighting. We're looking for some real positive change to consider you coming out because you've got some real serious charges. I didn't hear anything about what the situation with your victim.
I didn't even know that this parole hearing was concerning her because I had gotten sentenced to a year for that. And upon that, I have been talking to her. We've been text messaging back and forth.
Not only her, you punched her, but you punched another person. They charge you an assault third.
For her.
But I read in the record, I think I read in the record it was another person who I thought was her boyfriend or.
No,
Well, you can hear my challenge, right? You hear what I'm concerned about, right?
uh,
And we'll add to all of that, we'll add no programming.
all of. Okay,
And
so,
we have,
well,
and we have to take that into consideration. That's a consideration that we have to make.
I do all of this, like I said, I know I did wrong. I did things wrong. I did things that I know I shouldn't have done. And the thing with my baby mom at the time, we was going through some things, and on both sides, it was just aggravations. I'm willing to correct that. I want to come home and I want to do cognitive behavior programs. I want to do programs. I don't mind doing programs. I want to do anger management. I want to do all of these programs. But since I've been in here, I haven't been able to because they keep telling me I'm on the wait list. And the wait list is long in here.
Yeah, there's nothing that we can do about that either. But for me, and I want to be upfront with you, you know, you've heard my concerns. 7 times you've been out, hasn't worked out for you. You've got a significant prior history that involved other weapon offenses. This is another weapon offense. You have 2 recent DRs. You have more than 2 because we look at kind of the last 5. You had some last year as well in September as well. You had a contraband, Pruno. I mean, you've had those things happen. And on some level, when you spoke to the PO and you did the interview, you blamed her. You said she was trying to put you in jail. Right now for me, it doesn't look good in this particular situation. I've kind of asked the questions that I wanted to ask. I'm going to pass it on to my colleagues. I wish you a lot of luck, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. So, Mr. Brown, we have received some letters of support on your behalf from your family members. So it sounds like it looks like you have some support in the community. And I also heard you express your concerns with regard to your children, basically following in your footsteps. And those are all, I guess, we really should be concerned because, was your father ever in your life?
No.
And so now you're in prison and you realize that when you're in prison, you're not in your children's lives.
Yes.
So it sounds like a little bit of a cycle there.
And I want to correct it because I don't want my kids to go through the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm sure your mother didn't want you to go through the same thing. And I'm sure she tried to talk you out of it and lead you the right way. Listen, Mr. Brown, at a certain age, I'm going to say at 6 years old, you began learning, before that, honestly, but we'll say 6 years old, you know the difference between right and wrong, right?
Yes.
Start learning, if you touch the fire, you're going to get burned, kind of thing. If you go out in the middle of the street, you're going to potentially get hit by a car. You know right from wrong. You don't need people to tell you that carrying weapons is the wrong thing to do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So your children, they know right from wrong too. And it's unfortunately the choices that we make that, make us deviate off that path of doing the right thing. And I would honestly argue that you really haven't changed, Mr. Brown. And the reason why you haven't been able to participate in programs in the facility is because you keep getting tickets, and some of these tickets were very avoidable: disobeying a direct order, flagrant disobedient, yelling obscenities at the correctional officer because you were blocking your cell window or something? I mean, honestly, having Pruno just this April, it just shows poor decision after poor decision here. And when my colleague asked you, said to you that you have 5 gun charges, let's go over those. So you have this charge that occurred in 2023, right? Where you were at the stop sign, they pulled you over, the gun was under the seat, right? You have
Yes.
that. And then in 2022, I showed that you were in Hartford and the shot spotter picked you up, showing that you had fired 20, there were 20 shots fired between you. You were shooting at a Nissan.
It wasn't me, but that's what was being said.
So that's 2, right? And then you had a weapon in a motor vehicle in 1999. In 2019. What was that?
Stupidity. I
What
was
was
loading
What? Okay, so now we're up to 3. And how about a weapon in a motor vehicle in 2020?
That was a BB gun in the trunk of my car. I was homeless at the time.
So now we're up to 4. And then you had a shotgun silencer in 2010.
No.
Yeah, that's 5. That's what your rap sheet shows, sir. That you had a shotgun silencer in 2010.
You served 18 months for that.
So that's
But that was
5.
my very first gun charge. I didn't have one in 2019.
But in 2019, you did. You just said that you had a firearm. We just
I
talked
thought
about it.
I assumed that it was the shotgun. That's what I was walking around with it in my pants.
Okay, so that was in 2010, right? So you had a carrying a dangerous weapon in 2019, and in 2019, a weapon
It was a
in
knife.
motor vehicle.
The
Okay,
dangerous weapon was a knife.
okay, okay. So we're still up to 4 firearms, sir, and a dangerous weapon. Why do you have a knife in your car?
It wasn't in my car. It was in my pocket.
Then what was the weapon in the motor vehicle, sir?
The weapon in the motor vehicle was a BB gun.
You had 2 of them.
It was
You
only
just told
one.
me it was a knife. You had a weapon in a motor vehicle in 2020 and a weapon in a motor vehicle in 2019, when you also got the carrying a dangerous weapon, and you're telling us it was a knife.
I had
Let me
in
look at your
2019.
I'm listening.
In 2019, I got caught with a knife in Middletown. That was in my pocket.
Okay.
In 2020, I got pulled over. Well, I was sitting on the side of the road, and the police came and pulled behind me because I was in a no parking zone.
Okay. And you had a gun.
And they searched the car, they searched the vehicle, and it was a BB gun in the trunk of the car.
Okay.
Those are
The fact that, so do you you're arguing with us, well, with me, about the number of firearms that you've had when you're not supposed to be in possession of any of them.
You're right.
No
You're right.
weapon. And so you're asking us, sir, to give you an opportunity to return to the community so that you can make better decisions when you've had several opportunities to do that and you've squandered them. In fact, you were on probation when you committed this offense for a violent offense. And that didn't stop you from going on and creating even more violent offenses.
The 2022 case was dismissed. That wasn't nothing that I was charged with it, but I didn't receive any.
What 2022 case are you referring to?
The shooting.
When just because you weren't charged with it doesn't mean you didn't do it. We have your record.
I didn't do it.
They said that
yes, I have a record of carrying firearms, but I've never had a record of shooting any firearms.
They said that they saw you discharging the firearms, and there were 19 casings found on the ground. Like, I mean, we do our homework. If we don't do anything else, we read your file, sir. And we can't go, we have to make our decisions based on the information that we have in front of us. And the information that's in front of us shows that you like to carry firearms, that you don't do well when you're out on supervision. You acquire firearms even under community supervision. You're non-compliant. I see the notes from your parole officer from your last one said that you had anger issues with him. But eventually you developed a rapport, but initially you were non-compliant and you didn't want to hear it from anybody. You're not doing well in the facility. You rate out extremely high and you haven't participated in programs. There's nothing positive that I can discuss with you here today. Nothing. So there's no way that for me to support your request for discretionary parole because you haven't shown us any evidence of change, sir. And it starts with you. It really does start with you. You blame everybody else for everything that you've been through. It's time for Willie Brown to accept responsibility for himself, for his own.
I don't blame anybody for things that I go through.
Sir, you said you blamed the girlfriend because she wanted to put you in jail. You blame the parole officer for one of the tickets. You blamed.
I blame the parole officer.
I mean, not the correctional officer for your ticket. Everything was everybody's fault. You didn't go to court. You didn't go to court because it was too far. You're in prison. You didn't want to go from Meriden to Hartford. The ride was too long. Like, seriously. I mean, it's just poor decision on top of poor decision, sir. It's too much. You have to do something differently. You do. You're going to be in prison for the rest of your life if you think that the way that you're handling your situations is the right way. Ms. Turner?
I want to just clarify a couple things with you, Mr. Brown. Kenesha is the mother of which child?
My last child, my daughter.
And she's 2?
Yes. Well, she's 3 now. She just turned 3.
What's her first name? Your daughter.
Her first name?
Your daughter.
Aaliyah.
Okay. And are you still involved with Kenesha?
Yes.
Okay, but you want to sponsor to Shardae's house?
That's my other baby mother. At the time, at this point in time, Kenesha is she does housing. She's with she gets housing assistance. So I won't be able to parole to her house.
Okay, so you're going to go live with your other child's mother?
Yes, for the time being. Up until I'm able to acquire me my own housing.
Excuse me, the first name of your 16-year-old is what?
Jaden.
And your 13-year-old?
Dominique.
Dominique. Okay.
Yes.
And your 6-year-old?
Celine.
How do you spell that?
Seliem.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. I have no more questions.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to turn the hearing over to our victim's advocate. We ask that you please not interrupt and that you listen quietly. Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Vasquez.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, board members. We have a victim that is connected via conference and she wishes to address the board. This is your opportunity for you to express to the board your wishes and concerns. At this time, please unmute your microphone by pressing *6 and you may begin.
Hello?
We hear
Hello?
Good morning, we hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. Yes, I'm Stephanie. I'm the mother of his 5-year-old, Celine.
Mhm.
My concerns about Willie is that I don't feel like he's taking responsibility for his actions. And therefore saying that is because when the court took off the protection order because he was incarcerated, I did reach out to him and ask him would he like pictures of his son. He contacted me back being very rude and belligerent, still incarcerated, blaming me for the reason why he's in jail. He's not ready to take responsibility for his own actions and behaviors. And it's concerning me that if he gets out on parole, he still has his same attitude towards me. So I don't feel like he's going to come home and be a father to any of his children. I would like to know if he took a fatherhood program, anger management program, and even an IPV class, because he needs these things before he can come out on the streets. I'm even considering of reinstating my protection order because I'm afraid that when he comes home, he has the same attitude. And who's to say if Willie Brown has a bad day, he might see me and attack me again. There's been several incidents when he attacked me, and that's what caused me to get sole custody of our son, because he doesn't know how to be a father. He's in jail still, and I don't know why he's saying what he's saying, because he's asking me for paternity because he's angry that telling people that I put him in jail. I'm very concerned about what he should be doing at this time. I'm not sure if he took any of these classes or what, but he definitely needs anger management. He needs fatherhood, and he needs an intimate partner violence class, because he's assaulting too many women. And if you look at his record, he has restraining orders against plenty different women, even his mother, even his sister. So Willie Brown really doesn't care who he assaults or put his hands on. He has anger issues, and they need to be dealt with before he comes home. And I'm listening, and I'm seeing that he's still being disobedient and defiant while still being incarcerated. And I don't want him to come home and put my son through any of the issues before. So I don't know if you guys will listen to my intake or what, but I know that Willie Brown definitely needs help. And if he doesn't get help before he comes out to society, he's going to come back to be a menace. That's basically all that I have to say.
Thank you.
I think we're all on the same page in terms of Mr. Brown's request for discretionary parole. I think the victim's statement just put the icing on the cake.
Correct.
I have, his criminal history is very concerning to me. Honestly, we could pick almost every reason for denial here. But I definitely would say there's inadequate evidence of offender change.
Constitutional justice.
Well, that and also I don't want to negate the input from the victim.
Yes.
So
And picking it on.
injury and impact, yes.
So
And-
criminal history, injury and impact, inadequate evidence of offender change, and for institutional adjustment. Okay.
And for special parole conditions, I have a no driving condition, no contact with the victim as an H without the parole officer's permission.
Anger management. Yeah.
I have domestic violence.
I have both.
Yeah.
He has 3 years,
Okay.
and the victim's asking for both.
Anger management, well, we can't step into that, but we could do a mental health evaluation. There's something going on. I think that I saw somewhere that in one of, maybe in the violation of
Defiance type mindset.
yeah. So those are my conditions of domestic violence, anger management, no victim, no driving, and a mental health evaluation. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, we're ready with our decision, Mr. Brown. With regard to Willie Brown 339454, I move to deny his request for discretionary parole based on his criminal history, inadequate evidence of offender change, his poor institutional adjustment, and the injury and impact to the victim. I further move that the following conditions be set for his special parole conditions, as he has 3 years of that to follow his release. He is not to operate a motor vehicle. He'll participate in domestic violence, which is intimate partner out in the community, and anger management program as well. He is not to have any contact with SH without the full officer's permission, and he'll participate in a mental health evaluation and receive treatment as deemed necessary. Did I say everything?
Yes, I would just clarify that SH is the victim.
The victim, yes. Thank you. And is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Brown, I know that this was a lot. You will receive all of this in writing shortly, sir. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
No parole for Tate. None.
Okay.
Mr. Tate is not getting parole
Because of anger issues. And doesn't it feel like you've seen one, you've seen them all? There's just something about a fully grown man and being a complete man baby, and particularly fun when it's two female parole board members that are giving him the smackdown, the right and the left. And I just wanted to jump in and say, how does it feel? How does it feel, right? And I got the shirt. We got the hat. If you want to join the No Parole for Tate Club, it is for sale on the channel. You can help the channel and have fun while doing it. And if you're on Instagram and you do get a shirt and a hat, DM me and tag it, and I'll give you a follow. I'll follow all who have the No Parole for Tate swag. But anyways, wow. I don't know. It's not funny, but it is. Just the mannerisms. Think about all those weapon charges. And did you see the clip there about the knife? And this hearing was before Lady Holly was started. So this was October 11, 2024. I'm going through. We have literally hundreds of Connecticut parole hearings that I still need to do. So I'm just going through them and dripping them in. And it's like just that story with the knife. I mean, you see this stuff on body camera and news. He's walking. There's a call that he has a gun. It turns out it's a knife, and he walks straight up to the police officer. It wasn't like in his pocket, it's like and they have to pull out a weapon, and only then did he get on the floor. And it's just like charges of shooting up places, and it's like, this is dangerous man. And then of course he has all his charges against women. Now there was a moment in the hearing that I think he broke down and cried, and I do think that there was something hit home for him, and he did take it in, and you got to give him credit for that. I don't think it was easy for him to hear it. I think it was hard for him to hear it. He didn't have an outburst. So if you're looking for the good, it's I don't think it was manipulation or acting. I think that he did at that moment feel pretty crummy about himself. And I thought that he was listening to it for some time, but it's so, to think he's still a young guy. What is he? He's like 35 years old. It's not old, but it's, I guess he's too old for acting this way. He got his maximum sentence. It was 3 years. He's getting out. I don't know, 2026. And Sir Richard did put in it's 3 pages of offenses. And as you heard, I don't need to go over it. He is a lot. And the idea that he wouldn't even want to go to, because it's a long drive. And I know those drives are a big pain. They ain't comfortable. It's prison, transport. But man, to refuse to do that. Oof. Anyways, that's all I got. So with that, I'll let you go.
My name is Jervad DeVoe Royal. It's 440236.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the whole application for Jervad DeVoe Royal, inmate number 440236, He is serving a sentence of 10 years executed suspended after 30 months jail with 5 years probation for 3 counts of violation of protective order, 2 counts of failure to appear first, 1 count of threatening second and failure, and 1 count of failure to appear second. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of October 12th, 2024. There is victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has not completed any programming. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should grant parole. You may begin.
I wanted to, I think I heard that you said that, I didn't, complete a program? Is that what I heard? Is that what I heard?
That is correct.
I completed tier 2.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I have a certificate.
When did you finish the program, sir?
I finished it, before I came to this jail. I finished it over in Cole Robinson with Mrs. Cuevas, and I have a midterm, and I have my completion term too in myself.
We show that you were removed from that program because you received a disciplinary infraction.
I have to complete it. It shows she wrote the report about it and everything. It's on paper. I have it written.
RT screens that you completed?
Yes, the ER.
But you have your midpoint evaluation for tier 2, that's all.
I have the completion one too.
Okay, tell us why you deserve parole, sir.
I've just been in a lot of mess with this whole entire case. I created a big mess, you know, with the protective violation orders, just not listening to the protective order, not taking the law that I was just making decisions without thinking of the consequences at the time. And the consequence that I got this time has just been a year and some change, and it's been a very, very tough ride, and it's something that I never want to do again. And it's actually humbled me a lot. I learned a lot. I took some classes, and I went to AA and NA meetings and things like that. I learned things that that I should be doing, like, in general, just like in the world, like
Be
as far as
specific. Be specific.
getting help for what I need. You know, this time made me realize.
Getting help. You have to be specific, sir. You're speaking in general. You're saying,
Okay,
I learned
so-
some things
so-
from NA and AA that I'm going to use out in the community, and you have to be specific. What did you learn?
So things like my medication, things that are actually that you should be taking, like medication, therapy, that there is something that I need to address, and instead of just going on and living like there's nothing wrong with me, like, so.
You're saying that addressing your mental health.
Mental health, exactly, absolutely.
And AA taught you that?
Well, everything taught me that, because you learn more than just Alcohol Anonymous in those classes. You know, you from the outside come in and talk, and they say a lot of things. Everyone goes up and speaks their story and history and things like that. And, you know, before, I like to tell people that, you know, it's not me. It's just because I didn't want to feel like there was something wrong with me. But it's, you know, I just learned from there that it's okay to have something wrong with you, just to address it, you know? So as far as that, you know, therapy, things like that, counseling, that's just going to be something that I'm going to do, because I do have a life that that is good for me. I work, I have my own, I came to Connecticut with my own business. I opened in Danbury Fair Mall in 2021, skincare company. I did a lot of things, and I just ruined it with this. So I just ruined it, just completely. And I'm 30 years old, so I don't have time to screw up anymore, you know? It's just, yeah.
So I appreciate that information. Is it okay if
Yes,
I
ma'am.
call you Mr. Royale?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I do know that I recognize that you have a hyphenated name. It's just for time for me, honestly, and ease. To call you Mr. Royale. So what will
Yes.
happen here is each of us will take an opportunity to ask you some questions. When we are done, we will turn the hearing over to our victim's advocate, Mrs. Vasquez, for victim input. And then we will deliberate and give you our decision. Okay?
Okay. Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
going to start with the questions. I have to be honest, Mr. Royale, and tell you that I'm glad that you were able to identify that you're dealing with your mental health issues will help you navigate life in the future. However, for you to sit here before us with just 3 violation of protective orders and 1 threatening is a miracle, because you had so many violations of protective order. And then you're a multi-state offender on top of that. You have a simple battery in Georgia. Who was that? Who did you?
I was at an Airbnb in Georgia, and it was during the time of COVID. And I was with my girlfriend at an Airbnb.
Mhm.
And there was a random guy over there that I was really intoxicated, and he got in like a little fight with me outside of the house. And yeah, just a little, well, I
So
was
a
intoxicated.
stranger. So a stranger.
A stranger, yeah. And then some lady got involved not some lady, the Airbnb lady came in and like, I guess separated us, and the police came and just arrested me. They let me go.
I count. So that's 1. And then what
Yeah.
did you do? What did you do in North Carolina that they have a warrant for you?
North Carolina has a warrant for me.
Yeah. What'd you do?
I never know about that. That's news. That's news to me.
Try to verify it. I mean, I know I'm not the only one that saw that he has a warrant in North Carolina.
Consuming alcohol.
Oh, for consuming
Consuming
alcohol?
alcohol under the age of 19.
And okay,
What is it for?
at the age of 19, is that what you said? Under the age, okay, consuming alcohol under the age limit, under 21. That's what you have in North Carolina.
I remember that.
Oh, now you remember it, okay.
I never thought I had a warrant for it. I never got arrested or anything.
No, they probably gave you a citation and then you never went to court. They're not going to arrest you for underage drinking unless you're acting violently or trying to drive a motor vehicle.
Right.
I just remember I woke up in the hospital, ma'am, and all my family was around. And if this is the same time, I woke up in the hospital, my family
Well,
was
listen, if
around.
you can't remember, it's too many times. That's it. That's a problem. That's a problem, sir. If you
I'm sorry.
drink to a point that you don't remember
No,
what
that was
and when.
no, that was actually my first time drinking like that. I never
But you
drank
weren't
like that.
supposed to be drinking, period. Do you understand
Right.
that?
Absolutely.
There seems to be a pattern of your abuse of alcohol. And I read that you said you were self-medicating, which I completely understand. But when you're self-medicating, you become violent. And that's where the problem lies, sir. I really don't see any evidence of change here. I know we were talking about your participating in the Tier 2 program and completing that. Even that aside, you still have received 2 disciplinary infractions, 1 just this year that was really a fight, but they called it an interfering with safety and security. You violated this protective order with this young lady. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 times. And you were only charged for 3. And there were a bunch of other charges that they just nollied because you had so many. And I when the officer asked you about why you committed the offense, you said the victim came into your store, the victim invited you over. I mean, wait, there was one that really, I mean, the victim locked herself inside a big wide bathroom because she was afraid of you. You want your partner to be afraid of you?
Absolutely not.
So what did you do to instill this kind of fear in this woman?
I just, I
know.
I mean, it's just so, you can't control your partner, sir. And then for the life of me, I don't understand why when they don't want you to contact them, why you still contact them. Is she worth your being in prison?
absolutely not, ma'am.
I don't understand. I don't care who the president of the United States call me and tell me to come on over. If there's a protective order in place, I'm not going. I don't understand the decision making time after time after time. And they gave you 30 months for this sentence. And sir, I think that sentence was appropriate. I have no intentions on supporting your request for discretionary parole today. I do not believe that you're a suitable candidate based on, the nature of these crimes, it's a repeated pattern, alcohol violence, alcohol consumption, controlled violence. It's too much for me. It really is too much. So, Ms. Turner. Oh, wait, one last thing, I apologize. And then when the officer asked you, what were you going to do to refrain from incurring any more charges, criminal convictions? You said you're gonna stay with the Israels? What does that mean?
No, so, he asked me a few questions. He asked me, what am I gonna do when I go back into the world to avoid these
Right, that's what I just said.
getting into this. And I told him for the last 15 years, I work in a Jewish community, and I work and I sell cosmetics, and I have we have a lot of traditions that we follow throughout the years, throughout the calendar. And I got off track, whenever I closed my store in Denver, I started to do drugs. I was in the streets, I was running around.
What did you mean by the statement, sir, that you're going to stay with them? Are you implying?
I meant to stay around my community, like my friends, with the people that I work with.
Well,
Not
that
like
would
specific.
imply, sir, that you're not the problem. You're the problem. You're the common denominator. So regardless of who you're around, if your mentality is still the same, you're going to continue to incur criminal convictions. You can be angry with your Jewish community. You can be angry. This was a stranger that you beat up in Georgia.
I didn't beat up someone. I got into an altercation where I was intoxicated, ma'am. I was charged with
it says simple assault.
Yeah, and they dropped the charges because they did I spoke with the victim. We all spoke. The victim spoke with me. But
I'm saying to you that you need to identify that you are the problem.
Absolutely, ma'am. I know this for 100%. I am the problem. Yeah.
So, Mr. Royal, do you remember the Hotel Zero incident back in January of 2022?
Yes, ma'am. That was the first.
That was a threatening second. Can you tell me the initials of the victim in that case?
HC.
Okay. So, building off of what my colleague was just talking to you about, at the time of this incident, when the police were called, you had only been dating for a couple of weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm struggling to appreciate why, after, within a few weeks, you're still getting to know one another and figuring out whether this is a possible fit, or, whether you're connecting enough to keep pursuing a relationship. So she didn't think so. And you could not accept that. And I just don't understand how you could say to another human being that you're going to send people to her to make her life difficult. And you were also quoted in the police report as saying, I will kill you slowly until you shoot yourself. Do you have anything to say?
I was at that time just I was saying anything. It's not the character personal who I am and what I would actually do.
Your words are a reflection of your character. And if
Right.
why would you think that somebody who's trying to take themselves out of a relationship with you is going to want to stay with you when you threaten to kill them slowly? I mean, do you understand how absurd that is?
Yeah, absolutely, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have a problem respecting women?
And that, in the situations that I had there, yes, I did. I did at the time.
And you have not, you've never taken a domestic violence class?
Yeah, I did. I only had 2 weeks to finish before the last ticket that they gave me. I was in the domestic violence class, and I took anger management classes as well in the world. I took one, but I just didn't finish it.
Well, you need to continue taking these programs, sir, because you've got to get a handle on your emotions and your thoughts, and that you can verbally intimidate and abuse other people and think that they're going to want to be with you. That all you're doing is creating a hostage, someone who's with you because they're too afraid to leave you. That's not a relationship. Why would you want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with you? Have enough self-respect to walk away.
Right.
Yes,
I have no
ma'am,
more
I
questions
understand.
for Mr. Royal.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
I have no questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. We're going, at this time, Mr. Royale, we're done with our questions. We're going to turn the hearing over to our victim's advocate. Good morning again, Ms. Vasquez. Please do not interrupt, sir.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning, Madam Chair and board members. I had the opportunity to speak with the victim, and she has requested that I read a statement on her behalf. And it reads like this. I am happy for his moving forward with his life, and I wish him only the best of success. I believe in him. He'll learn from his past and he will succeed. When we were in a business together, he spent money I had given him for the purpose of starting a business venture together. That business venture did not go as agreed, and I never got the money returned to me.
You are trash.
There's a lot of financial loss that I've had to work hard to get this money on my own. It is good to see him getting back on his feet. I would hope that at some point with his new job, he considers repaying the money he had taken from me, which sums about $70,000.
You are trash.
Within business and other things that I'm not sure exactly what the money was used for. Other than that, I wish him only the best with his future intentions and hope for lots of success. Thank you, Madam Chair. That is all that I have for this case.
Thank you, Ms. Vasquez. All right, so give us a few minutes to talk about your case, Mr. Royale. And again, you may listen, but you may not interrupt. I think I've stated my position on this applicant. I do not believe that he is suitable for a discretionary parole. He has not shown us any evidence that he's changed. He hasn't completed any programs according to our records. And also the nature of this offense is very concerning.
I concur with your summary. I share your concerns. I think Mr. Royal has a lot of work to do. And he has 7.5 years of this sentence hanging over his head when he goes out to 5 years of probation. And I do hope he'll be successful.
As do I.
I would also agree, Madam Chair, with what you said about Mr. Royale. And I think that he really does need to continue to do a lot of work in order to put his life back together again.
Thank you. With regard to
Can I suggest nature and circumstance, inadequate evidence of offender change, poor institutional adjustment, and inadequate release plan?
I have nature and circumstance, injury, not injury impact, inadequate evidence, lack of program participation because he didn't do that.
But he is debating, now he's saying he did DD and we don't have any information about that. So I thought, release plan and institutional adjustment.
No, I don't care about his release plan if I'm not releasing him.
Yeah.
But he didn't come with one that would have, provided us any confidence.
So you said nature and circumstance, inadequate evidence, I'm sorry, important institutional adjustment.
Constitutional adjustment.
Okay, all right, so we can, that's plenty, right? Okay, thank you. So with regard to Jabad DeVoe Royale 440236, I move that his discretionary parole be denied based on his, the nature and circumstance of his offense, his poor institutional adjustment, and inadequate evidence of offender change. He will not receive a new hearing and he will finish his sentence and go out to his probation. Is there a second?
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye. All right, Mr. Royale, you received all of this in writing and we wish you the best, sir.
This concludes the hearing for Jabad DeVoe Royal and the report 4026.
You're all set. You can ask the officer to send in the next person, please.
No parole for Tate.
Thank you.
None.
Okay.
Mr. Tate is not getting parole.
And here we go again because of anger issues. I don't think it ever gets old. And he looks stunned, right? Like he's like, wait, what just happened? He's just like sitting there like totally flabbergasted. Now his full term date is January 10th, 2026. So at the time of this recording, he's got, I don't know, I'm not good at math, but I guess a year and 6 months or something left on his sentence. And I don't know if this is his full, if this is the name, his birth name, or if he changed it, but Jabad Lad DeVoe Royal. I mean, that's the name. And Sir Richard found something on YouTube. Apparently, he's a rap artist, so he has a song, and I'm not going to play it for you for multiple reasons. Sir Richard has in the notes, this is what Sir Richard says on the song. Words fail me at his lyricist talents. So I did listen to it. I'm not going to play it because I don't know how copyright works with music and YouTube, and I just don't like doing that. And really, if I play it and he decides to copyright strike me, I just don't want to deal with that type of drama. I don't care. So if you want to check it out, you can run the search yourself. I just don't say I didn't warn you. But it's interesting. He came in with like this smile and attitude, and I wasn't sure what we were going to expect, but apparently it's someone else who just, and like the parole board said, I love it when they're so on point. They're just on point. They seem so disgusted by both these men's hearing. And it was Barry Page and it was Miss Barry Page Rodriguez, who should not be mistaken for Mike Pohl. I know he can sound like Mike Pohl. Rodriguez is the other man, and Turner. And I think this is a good mix. Barry or Miss Page Rodriguez and Turner seems to be quite a good match. They're not messing around. And what are you supposed to do? It's the craziest thing. Again, it's like the whole how could you? It's like if someone doesn't want to be with you, I don't get it. I just can't. I can't understand it. You have to be so insecure. You have to have like the, and that poor woman, she lost $70,000. Can you imagine investing in that guy, partnering with that guy, $70,000? I'm sorry to break it to you, lady, but you're never going to see that money. There you have it. And with that, I'll let you go.
Mm-hmm.
My concerns about Willie is that I don't feel like he's taking responsibility for his actions. And therefore saying that is because when the court took off the protection order because he was incarcerated, I did reach out to him and ask him would he like pictures of his son. He contacted me back being very rude and belligerent, still incarcerated, blaming me for the reason why he's in jail. He's not ready to take responsibility for his own actions and behaviors. And it's concerning me that if he gets out on parole, he still has his same attitude towards me. So I don't feel like he's going to come home and be a father to any of his children.